Okay, we're on to the second read of the proposed structure for the Washington State Bar Association Diversity Committee. We've got Governor Angel Vell, and I don't know if you've got anybody else presenting or if it's just you.
It is just me, although I see that Chief Singleton is here and we've been working with the diversity committee on this. So I may ask her to pipe in when she feels it's appropriate if I'm missing something. As you know, in May, we brought the notion of a change in structure to the diversity committee to this board. It is now coming up for second read, and I hope everyone's had a chance to read the proposed changes. Essentially, what we're requesting is that an amendment be made to the bylaws to change the structure of the committee from a committee to a council. One of the reasons why we think that this is the most effective way to approach our structure is that not only do we want to continue to do the great work that the diversity committee has been doing, but we also want to be able to expand our reach. And for the council, what we're asking is that we as a council be allowed to include judicial officers, to include law students, and potentially to include members of the public. There is a letter in your materials from the Pro Bono Council who we reached out and got input from various stakeholders, and we received a letter of support from the Pro Bono Council, which talks about how important it is in doing DEI work to have multiple kinds of voices to inform the work. So essentially, we drafted a charter, which is also in your materials, which kind of outlines what we'll be doing. And what we are doing is what we're doing now, and it's outlined in the charter, but it's always guided by GR 12.2 subsection 6, which states that one of the goals of our bar association is to promote diversity and equality in the legal profession. We do this now as a committee in a variety of ways, through delivering CLE programming, working with our law schools to assist in mentorship programs for underrepresented law students. We host events designed to connect our minority bar associations with the committee, and to connect, I suppose, these associations to the legal community at large. So there's a lot of good work being done by the committee. This change of structure will allow us to continue doing that good work, as well as increase the kinds of voices that will be able to participate. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. And to just back up a little bit, the reason why we were tasked, I suppose, to change our structure is because the bylaws stated that we were a standing committee, but on standing committee, you can't have non-BOG members. And the diversity committee had been operating with 18 members, with 4 governors, but the 14 other members basically come from, the lawyer population, and they apply. So we want to be able to continue to do our work, and that is why we've chosen the council structure. And I'm happy to take questions.
All right. Any questions for Governor Angeville? Oh, Governor Stevens.
I don't have a question. I have a comment, which is I support this change as a former chair of the diversity committee, recognizing that the history is also that a few years back, there were two committees, one that was quote BOG and one that was quote members, and it got fused, but cleanup work wasn't done on the bylaws. And so I think this is an actual great step forward to really keep what was intended, I think, back when the Board of Governors did this. And I think looks also forward about getting other key folks involved on the whole issue of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our profession. So I urge our fellow governors to vote yes.
Governor Bell.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank Governor Angelvell for the presentation and the hard work that has gone into this. I want to say from a practical perspective, I support and applaud the idea of having non-BOG members serve on the body of some sort. I do want to reiterate something I've mentioned a couple of times, and that is my concern about the RGGI commitments that are identified in the committee, or rather the council charter. I've reviewed those RGGI commitments. I have concern that those go far beyond what an integrated bar association should be taking positions on. And this is not a new position. It's a position I've articulated for some time. And given that those are enshrined in the charter as proposed, I would be voting against it for that reason. Thank you, Mr. President.
And one thing I would say to that, Governor Abell, is the RGGI commitments are spoken about in the charter just as they were in our committee, because the Board of Governors, I do believe, and I think Chief Singleton can help me with this, I believe the Board of Governors signed a resolution or a commitment to honoring that. So that's the reason why it's there, because until steps are taken by this board to say that you don't want to honor the RGGI commitment, then it exists. So in a sense, you know, our hands are kind of tied with respect to that, unless and until the board makes another decision. And Chief Singleton, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that the board passed a resolution, or not passed a resolution, but voted in favor of becoming a RGGI member in March 2018.
Mr. President,
Governor Bell.
well, I guess it's a follow-up on that. And
Yes.
I'm not sure whether this is best addressed to Ms. Singleton or to Governor Angelvell, but you know, I am aware that the board took that action. I've been curious for a long time about the GR 12.2 analysis that was conducted on that. I think I've mentioned it before. I assume it exists. I assume we did it, but I've just never seen it. And I'm very curious as to how we navigated that. I mean, the RGGI commitments talk about the environment and affordable, housing and all these other things. And you know, for folks, particularly out in my neck of the woods, who say that the Bar Association is a political activist organization, it's this sort of thing that they point to. And that's what I have concerns about. Thank you.
But in response to your question or your comment, Governor Abell, are you stating that you're not supporting our structural change because we have that commitment in there? And is there something else you'd recommend? Because we have to change our structure. We have to. So I'm just wondering what your position is on that.
Well, so for me personally, if we're going to, I guess, re-enshrine the RGGI commitments in the charter, I guess that's the reason that I would be opposing this. Again, I don't oppose the idea of having non-BOG members serve on some sort of a committee. I entirely see your point that you said, look, the BOG previously signed off on this. I guess as a policy decision, I would have opposed that decision back in 2018. I don't want to double down on what I see as a wrong decision. That's just me personally. And again, I assume this 12.2 analysis exists somewhere. I've just never seen it. And I've asked about it a number of times, including back at the diversity committee a couple of years ago. But apparently we navigated this process before. I'm curious as to what that analysis was. Thank you.
Chief Singleton, do you have any comments on that?
I do recall you asking about it, and I remember consulting with General Counsel Shanklin. So I don't have it with me ready just because we're focusing on the charter, but I'm happy to follow up and on that note.
Yeah. And what I would really hope is that the whole effort doesn't get tanked by this issue, because we are doing work that's pretty important for the association. And at the current time, because of our composition or structure issues, we only governors are eligible to vote. And it's very awkward, to say the least, and frankly, highly unfair to continue on in this route. So it was our hope to get this moved forward so that we could continue to do our work. So that is sort of the exigency behind this. And I guess if other folks have issues, I would love to hear about them before it actually goes to a vote.
Okay, I think I've got Governor Stevens and then anybody else besides Governor Stevens?
Governor Abell had
Oh,
a-
Governor Abell
yeah.
again.
Yeah, so am I recognized, Mr. President?
Yes, please,
Okay,
Governor Stevens.
Thank you. So I guess I would just suggest that this proposal is not re-enshrining anything. It is restating what is the policy that the board has adopted. And I think so the appropriate thing would be, and at some point down the path, and Governor President-elect, and I'll stop doing that after when gavel is done in September. But that may be something that we need, you may want us to take up, but I don't think that should be held against any subset stating what policies we've already entered into. It's, so that's my view, and I hope we would continue it. I do think it becomes a difference if we decide to do something else as a Board of Governors.
Governor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I lower my hand.
Anyone else?
Anybody else have any, put my glasses on so I can see if somebody's got their hand waved up there. See, I can't see.
I have a question for Governor Bell. I don't know the history of this. Is what you're objecting to in the charter just the reference to the Reggie itself, or is there anything else in the charter that you find objectionable?
Thank you very much. I am bringing up the copy of the charter now. All right, so I'm looking at page 127 of the materials. It talks about, as the charter is including, in addition to carrying out the objectives and responsibilities outlined in the general rules and other commitments, like the Washington Race and Equity Justice Initiative commitments, which are linked. The council also carries out the mission of the WSBA, and then it references the mission. The commitments that are linked goes directly to the Reggie commitment webpage, which specifies
A number of things.
a number of things. Yeah, a number of different things.
But that is that clause which says that in addition to carrying out the objectives in the general rules, it's the and other commitments like the Washington Race and Equity Justice Initiative commitments. That's the language you would have preferred be taken out?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Governor Stevens.
I call the question.
Is there a second?
Second. Can I second?
Why can't you? You're governor.
No, because I guess, yeah, you're right.
Oh, there's no motion? I thought there was. Oh,
Move to approve.
golly.
Second.
I thought for some reason we already had a motion to approve.
Well, Mr. I guess I'd ask if you're on second read, do you really need another motion since it's already presently in front of you? But
That's
that'd be a
true. I
question
don't know.
for
but-
your parliamentarian.
Well, our parliamentarian today is Council Julie Shanklin, who's got a smile on her face, believe it or not.
So I don't think that first read involves any kind of a motion. So I would say that sort of logically, yes, you need a motion.
Okay, I do believe there has been a motion and a second to approve the proposed changes to the structure of the Washington State Bar Association Diversity Committee. That sound like an accurate read of the motion? Okay,
And so, Mr. President,
so now are you calling the
I'm
question?
calling the question, yes.
Okay. Is there a second to the call of the question?
Second.
All right. This one doesn't get debated, so we'll go down the list. By the way, folks, I hope you'll stick around till the end of the meeting. We have a number of people who couldn't make the meeting today, and so we're getting perilously close to not being able to vote on some more action items if we don't have our quorum. Right now, I do believe we have a quorum, but please stick around. Appreciate it. Okay, Governor Abell.
Aye.
And this is to call the question, by the way. Governor Adwale. Governor Angelville.
Aye.
Governor Boyd.
Aye.
Governor Clark. Governor Couch. Governor Dresden. Governor Higgins. Oh, Governor Dresden. Thank you. Governor Higginson. Governor McBride.
Aye.
Governor Peterson.
Yes.
Governor Pertzer. Governor Siani. Governor Stevens.
Aye.
Governor Williams Ruth.
Aye.
8 yeses and the rest not voting. Is that what you have, Executive Director Nevitt?
Yes.
So, okay, so we will now vote on the motion. Anybody need to have that reread? Governor Stevens, do you have it? Well, you can't comment now because we cut off. Okay, so we're going to vote on the motion. To Governor Abell,
No.
Governor Adwale, Governor Angelville,
Aye.
Governor Boyd,
Aye.
Governor Clark, Governor Couch, Governor Dresden,
Aye.
Governor Higginson, Governor McBride,
Aye.
Governor Peterson,
Yes.
Governor Pertzer, Governor Siani, Governor Stevens,
Aye.
Governor Williams Ruth.
Aye.
Seven yeses, one no, the rest not voting. We have quorum. Motion passes. Okay, we're going to take about a 10-minute break. We have a lot more to go this afternoon, but we haven't had a break since we started at shortly after 1 o'clock. So let's start again at 3:01. It's 2:51 now, 10-minute break. See you back in 10 minutes.